Hello and welcome to the Flory Models Friday Roundup Show. Here we are with you on the 7th of February 2025. Busy week this week. Obviously, we're pushing on very heavily with this one. This is the June Ornithopter. I love it. It's a great kit. It's done now. We've just got to do the stand. All right. So it's one of those ones I'm slightly ahead of you on the video world, as you'll see in a moment. But no glue, no fit issues, and it just went together. So if you're a modeler who's not so much into the actual sanding, filling, rescribing, re-riveting, which is what we'll talk about in a moment, this is the type of kit for you, purely because it is literally a click fit. Really, really solid, goes together. And say there is no glue in this whatsoever, and we haven't had any fit issues. We have had issues with this kit, purely my own made a complete hash of it, to be honest with you, with these blades, getting them the wrong way around, trying to bend them where they didn't want to, ended up breaking them. So yeah, it was one of those ones where any problems with this kit were totally my own, but thoroughly enjoyed it. Really fast build as well. We did this one in a week. Very, very nice indeed. Plenty of dry brushing, various things we haven't done before. So we show you more about those, obviously, in the next couple of weeks with this particular build. Anyway, this is where it all started. Obviously on Monday we had part one of it went up with you, and again, don't know much about this particular thing in real life, so to speak, or in the film world and everything else. I have seen June, but I think I fell asleep through most of it. But the bits with this thing flying around did capture the old imagination. So when this kit came along, I was thinking, right, we need to do this one. Wasn't aware it was just literally a click fit kit. I thought it was a normal standard kit. As you can see, there's plenty of bits to this one, but it goes together very quickly. As I said, no glue involved with this one, but we have done plenty of painting and weathering. So we painted up the figures. We just gave them a coat of flat black, and then we went along with oils. So we went along with a little bit of oils just to weather them in and give them that sort of dusty, sort of June look and all the rest of it. Cockpit, same thing again, done with plenty of dry brushing with oils, a little bit of metallizers in there as well, right the way over. Some real hashtag, dodgy face painting went on. Then we put it together. It does have a mechanism, so the wings all rotate together. So obviously when it's in the stow configuration and flying, they will open up and all the rest of it. There's a very nifty little cog system in there that does that. With this one all done, it was time to get it all together. So we got it all buttoned up. I did have one fit issue at the back. Again, if you clean up the parts really nicely, you don't have a fit issue. There, I had a little bit of a tab and it was making a little bit of foul. So again, once we got that sorted, we were good to go. But generally getting it all together went together very nicely, this one. The figures, a little bit of dry brushing, a little bit of paint on there, as you can see, and away we went. Then we got the blades together, which is where I made a complete hash of it and ended up breaking most of them. Again, watch the instructions. They are correct. So just follow the instructions. That's all I'm going to say. Don't follow me, follow the instructions. All right. With those all in and wiggling around all over the place, that basically completes it. So we had it built in a oneer, basically going right the way through. All right, so that is up with you now. You can go off and see that one. Part two will be up with you tomorrow. On Monday. With you as well, so you can catch up with part two, which basically goes right the way through, doing all the glazing work, all the small little details, putting all the undercarriage areas together. Nice thing with this one, again, you can have it in flight, stowed, or any other configuration you'd like as well, because the gear is interchangeable. It's a lump of gear that just pops on and off as you like as well. So pretty easy to deal with this particular kit. Then we get it into primer, and then obviously after that, next week, it will be a case of just getting the final weathering onto it and the base done and done. So this is literally going to be a 3, possibly 4-parter video. So not much to this one at all. So you can catch up with that. Then we started on Tuesday with Tool Tuesday. So this particular video is me roughly yapping about all the tools I use and when I use them and why I use them. So I call it my go tray. So as you can see down in here, you often see it around me. I have a tray. These are the tools I use all the time. I've got drawers behind me, I've got them beside me, I've got them under me, I've got them in cupboards everywhere, but these are my sort of go-to tools that I use every single day. So basically I give you a run through of what they are. So we talk about knives, we talk about my display cutters, which are giving up on me a little bit, so I will have to get some new ones, I think. And when we don't use them, when we use God hand snips, when we don't use God hand snips, and what we have to be careful when we're cutting with them and things like that. Then we talk about obviously the shanks and scraping tools that I use, how to use them as well. So we give a quick run through about those ones as well, using different chisel parts and various things with them all, using various deburring tools and knives and things like this that I tend to use all the time, right the way through to using the drill. and what you can use from it for carving and chiseling and the speeds that are required for getting the best effect. So i.e. you don't melt through the plastic, you are sanding through it and stuff like that. All right, so again, just showing you all of those bits right the way through, and then obviously why I don't like tools as well. So it's not just what I love about tools, it's what I don't like about them. Like that particular one, I don't like particularly very much either. And that's what this show is all about, going through the sort of do's and don'ts with all the tools, when I would use them, when I wouldn't use them, even right down to the humble clothes peg and what to avoid with those ones as well. All right. So again, that's the show if you want for you. And everyone needs one of those little hoovers because it's invaluable. I use it every single day. It's a great little bit of kit as well. But anyway, members, you can keep up with that one. Have a look at my tool tray, what I use in there, just like that as well. So if you want to get that one, you can do as well. Then we were up on Wednesday for the vlog, and again I was talking about obviously the dry brushing process that I was going through on the actual ornithopter as well, and obviously we're talking about the kit reviews that I've done that day and the various things as well. So that one is up in there as well, so if you want to catch up with that one, you can do. There you go, you can see the old ornithopter coming together and the dry brushing and the things that we were using to create these effects. Obviously full details of this will be on next week's video when that one goes live as well. All right, so anyway, if you want to catch up with that one, members obviously get early access as well, so they saw the review about the Apache, and obviously there's the other Apache reviews that I've done down in there as well. We'll speak about that one in a moment. Last night we had the new basic modeling show. So this is basically a series of shows that I'm putting together for the members, which answers all the really stupid questions that you're scared to ask. You know, as we know, there's nothing worse when you go on social media in general and you ask a question, you feel a right idiot for asking it. We've all been that idiot asking that question, but oh, how we forget we were that idiot who needed that information. This show is dedicated really to the new members, or the ones who've just got a question like, how do you do this? Or if you're struggling with a certain area of it as well. So if you're struggling with something, I will show you. So the whole point of this particular show, as we did on this one, was to actually go through. So we covered some really interesting topics last night that you guys wanted to go through. So we were talking about hairspray, when to use it with a brush, when would you spray it on direct out the can, when would you put it into an airbrush, things like that, and obviously its uses. We were talking about raised panel lines and how to put raised panel lines back, and obviously I demonstrated how to do that as well. We were talking about obviously clear parts and various things, and like obviously with using crystal clears and what's that other one called? The other one that they've got, ultra glue, and doing things like that as well, and when to replace glass and things. All right, so the show I was demoing all the parts as we were going through on all of these, talking about them. This one we were talking about tinting windscreens, so I showed how to do it. We got the old brush out. So the whole point of these shows is I show how to do it, and then this morning I've been back and I've actually done a timeline of all the bits we were talking about, and obviously so you can just fast forward. Unfortunately YouTube won't let me do it because the video is too long. Otherwise, you just could click and go in, but obviously it won't let me do it. But it's all got little timestamps down in here as well. So you can just fast forward down in here and we can talk about here. This is the one, it's at 44 minutes in basically. And it's saying, may I ask about how you actually paint in without using an airbrush on F4s and F14s for that armored front panel and things like that. Obviously, we're talking about scribers at 51 minutes in. So if we just go to 51 minutes in, where are we? Into here. We talk about scribing and obviously all the problems that people are having with scribing and stuff like that. So I show it. Really honest how I use it, and we'll talk about how you might be going wrong. We were talking about people doing too deeper panel lines and the reasons for it and stuff like that, and why I like certain tools over certain tools. So again, you've got this thing where I prefer long handles. I think you have better control over it because it's flat. And obviously we talk about how a scriber physically works and how it does its work. All right. And then right the way through. And again, we were going through all different questions all the way through. This one, we were talking about gun barrels, how to put aftermarket gun barrels and make them all point in the same direction. Obviously, this is just me, how I do it, but I thought it went really, really well. And as I say, this is how to glue parts on without getting a gluey mess and all the rest of it, and how I go about doing it as well. So we show gluing parts on. Again, it's all timestamped down in here. So I've removed the original questions now because these were the original questions, and I've moved them into one thread with it all in. I will do this for each of the shows. So hopefully as well that the old search engine, if you're looking for it in the forum, if you ask this question, it will take you to this video, and then you can be seen exactly which one it is as well. All right, so this is our new segment. It's the first one we did. To be honest with you, I absolutely loved it. Had a lot of fun doing it. Jesus, did we get everything out. And again, we was on there, I think it's for an hour and 45 in total. Still didn't cover everything. So any questions I've rolled over to next time. So again, we want to be talking about using third gen paints, and there's a couple about photo etch and things like that. I've rolled those over, they're kept, and then they will be the first up topics that we'll talk about on the next show, and that how it goes. I didn't realize it'd be quite this popular. I thought we might get a few of you in, but we had loads of you in there, obviously asking some questions and great feedback as well. And obviously the chat room was live, so you guys could all talk about it as we were making our way through. Say something new. I enjoyed it. I think you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give us feedback about it as well, how we can improve it and things like that. And then that way we can make it even better as we go through. Don't forget, that's only open for members to be able to see all of that one as always. Then obviously today we have the Trumpeter review. Spoiler alert, it's awful. Don't buy it. Wait and pray to the God Almighty that either Takam or Meng bring one out, because this one, for some reason, Trumpeter have stuck their heels in and decided to go back to 2001 because the kit has, yeah, I don't know where to start. Basically, it's typical Trumpeter 20 years ago when they were first sort of going and all the rest of it. It's very basic. It's very blocky. As you can see, there's not a lot to this one going through. There's not a lot of detail, but what really gets my goat with this entire kit, apart from the engines, you do get some nice engines, but everything else is really, really lacking. The problem I have with this particular kit is, one, the actual decals look like they're cartoonish and they're just awful from back in the day. All right, so that needs to be done. All right. It does come with a mass set. I'm trying to think of positives here for this one, but I'm struggling. Rubber tyres, really? Move on. We don't need rubber tyres anymore. Clear parts are clear. That's a saving. The trouble you've got is there's not a single raised rivet on this entire model. In fact, there's very little raised detail on this. All this riveting detail, which is what makes up an Apache or any gunship really at the end of the day, is to have raised, riveting onto it. There's not tons of it, so there's no excuse. It's not like when we've spoken about before, the FX Sea King should have raised rivets, but because there's so many, you can't fit them all on. So it's easier to do recess because they take up less space. There's no, this isn't covered in rivets. It's just on the big areas, but all of this is totally smooth. So when you run your finger over it, it's smooth. All down the tail, it's smooth, and it shouldn't be. If anyone's been near it, you'll know what I mean. Also, the cockpit, I know there's not a ton of stuff going on there, but it's very, very basic. All right, there's not too much going down in there at all. And again, the gun, let's face it, the Apache is so famous for that 30mm cannon underneath there. And it's just awful that, like with the muzzle and all the rest of it, it's just solid. It's one piece. It's not nice at all. It's just begging out to be improved. And I know we talk about sometimes about kits are overcomplicated and over-detailed. These are basic things that this kit is literally lacking. Also, ejector pin marks. These ones here have got to be cleaned out and cut out. Otherwise, your rotors aren't going to fit in there. Not to mention, I think the rotors are very delicately the way they go in there as well. So why are these in here? They're on all of them. If you didn't know it and just went into it, they're not going to fit. All right. And again, ejector pins in areas which are totally visible inside doors. I thought we'd moved on from all of these. Anyway, I'll shut up now because I'm going on a rant. But yeah, why this kit? I just don't get it at all. It's one of those ones where I had so much hopes for it and I'm left totally deflated. It just needs to be done properly, shall we say. And honestly, I just don't think this kit does anything justice to the Apache in any shape or form. I appreciate it's the old version, it's the A, and it's obviously an early A as well. But yeah, it could go so much better for this particular kit. So unfortunately from me, it's a little bit of a no with that one. So yeah, anyway. Other thing as well, just to let you know that the lovely people over at Broeco, which is obviously Flory Models Europe, have just had a restock in yesterday of all the washes. So if you are wondering about the washes that they're out of stock at the moment, they had a restock came in yesterday. Hopefully it'll be back up on their website over the weekend and you can get that. So if you are in the EU and you are after some of the Flory Models range, don't forget you can get it over here. If you just go to the store, and you click either on the actual Brevaco link down in here or just on the Flory Models Europe logo, you can be taken straight off. Instead of getting it from us, you'll get it quicker, and obviously you won't have any problem with taxes and stuff like that. Then I'm very hopeful that I've got a restock as well coming in of obviously the carving tape, and obviously I've got the circle cutters coming back in, but also I've got a couple of bigger tools. The chopping thing is coming in, and there's a few others that Corinne's going to be bringing over as well when she's with us next week. So again, we'll have some more bits and pieces down in there with that. So it's all coming back into stock this week coming. All right. Over on the PM store, obviously to celebrate us doing the Ornithopter, you got the Harkonnen one. That one is up in there as well. This is a slightly different version. It's more like the gunship version, and it's got what's it got? 6 blades on it instead of the 8 that this thing has. Slightly different version of it, but it'll still be just as great. Really good price on that as well, 52 quid. The new Black Hawks are in. Obviously, this is the A model, the basic one. Pretty much the same kit as I reviewed last week, but that is up there as well. And we've got the Beaufort torpedo bomber is in stock now as well over there. Again, we've got some more bits and pieces coming in with PM as well. So they've got a restock coming in on lots of stuff next week as well. So I know we've got a Tamiya delivery has come in, we've got another AK restock that's come in as well, and some other bits and pieces. So if you are after anything down in there, obviously as always you can just pop over to pmmodelsuk.com and you can get all your bits there. And obviously we've still got the last of the stuff is up on the eBay store. This is going soon, so once it's gone, it's gone. So literally keep an eye out for this, because this is all going to be disappearing shortly. So if you do fancy something over the weekend, go and grab it before it is gone as well. Okay, so yes, and that, as they say, was this week. Busy week this week. Next week we've got to say Corinne is coming over mid next week as well, so we've got some special shows coming up there because we've got the anniversary of the first birthday. Yes, it's been a whole year of Flory Models Europe, so she's coming over for that one. We'll be talking about that. We've got a live Flory Models show on Thursday with you as well, and obviously you're going to get the next couple of bits of this one, and I've got some other great reviews coming your way next week as we make our way through. As always on a Friday, I'm going to leave you with your great work from the gallery. So until next week, everybody, happy modelling. Take care.
I was not ready to falling like I'm wasted.